I don't even know where to start, to be honest. If you don't want to hear me waffle for about a minute, I'll leave a timestamp on screen now and timestamps below in the description so you can skip to what part of the video you want to see. But for those of you who do want to stick around, I owe you guys a massive, massive thank you. Never in a million years did I think any of my videos would get as big as the last one. Everyone who chose to share their story with Destiny and why they're leaving, thank you guys so much for sharing that with me. I've enjoyed reading every single one of the comments. Yes, even the ones saying we don't care. But you guys have shown so much support and I'm so grateful for that. Also, Lucky 10p, I appreciate the reaction to my video, dude. Now go unblock me on Twitter. Anyways, I'll stop waffling now. Thank you guys again. You mean the world. The amount of members of the Warframe community who watched my last video and invited me over to their game was unbelievable, which honestly is a really nice change considering what the Destiny community can be like. Obviously, last video, like 90% of the comments were actually genuinely really nice comments, so I don't know where that part of the Destiny community have been living for their entire lives because I've never seen anything like that. Instead of gatekeeping their game, they encouraged me to try the game out and more or less welcome me and other players into the community with open arms, which is, like I said, a very different approach than what the Destiny community was like. And I'm not saying the whole of the Destiny community is toxic, as the majority of the comments on my last video were positive ones. Now, I'll admit, I have played this game before a long time ago, and when I did play it, I very much enjoyed my time with it. The only reason I ever gave it up was because I think Destiny released a DLC around the time I was really getting into it, which is kind of ironic now. But I think I'm finally ready to give this game a proper chance, at least the chance it deserves anyways. So, what do I think so far? What a change of pace. I'll admit, there's a lot going on when you first load onto the game. There are a lot of quests, a lot of things going on in the navigation director. It can be relatively intimidating at first, and for a beginner who's just starting out a massive game like Warframe, it's quite the learning curve. And I'm speaking as a former Destiny player here, rather than a brand new player to video games. When I say there's a large learning curve, I don't mean that in a negative connotation by any means. I think it's a great change of pace for me, and for anyone who is interested in getting into it. There's a lot to learn in regards to the different types of warframes, weapons, whether that's melee or bullet weapons, the mod system, everything. There's just an awful lot to learn, and there just seems to be a lot of content to grind. And if you've seen my last video, I did in fact say that I don't have the time anymore to grind as much as I used to. But a lot of people got this a little bit confused, so I like to make myself a little bit clearer, just in case anyone did get a bit muddled up. I do not have time to grind the same content I have already been grinding for years. However, I do have time to be grinding content I have never done before, aka everything that Warframe has to offer. Don't get me wrong, I am completely aware of how much of a time investment this game is, and it's an extremely long one for sure, but it's something new, so I want to do it. I'll start off by saying this: all the content in this game is absolutely free, no strings attached, no paid DLC, just an optional purchase available for the premium currency called Platinum. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, microtransactions? No! I'm out! No, I'm not doing it! No. The premium currency is actually earnable in-game through the in-game trading system. The simple way to put it is you can farm in-game items as much as you want, and then you can sell them off to buyers who are interested in buying the items from you, which obviously through the trading system, we use Platinum, which you can then use to buy things such as Warframes, weapons, or the main thing I would buy early on are Warframe slots and weapon slots, just because you're limited. In my personal opinion, having an optional purchasable premium currency in a game that you can still access through playing is a massive win for everybody, because at the end of the day, you're going to either like the game or hate it, and both are equally valid. But for the people that love it, they manage to get access to the game for free, and they can unlock everything in the game for free. If they want to skip past a couple of steps to unlock a cool new Warframe or a sought after weapon, they won't feel as guilty spending the money to gain access to those type of things, because they spent nothing initially to get the game, so it's just a shortcut to something they wanted. So all content launches are free. That's great, but I want to know how the game feels. To put it simply, if you like fast-paced gameplay with a million different build ideas and combinations, this game is simply for you. I'll start by saying the movement is some of the most addictive incentives as to why I'm enjoying my time with the game. It doesn't feel clunky. The slide into the jumping is super fun and engaging. And I know this is starting to sound like more of an ad compared to my thoughts of the game, but this is just the truth. I'm not going to sit here and be a negative Nancy about it when the game is just fun. Anyways, off topic again. The gunplay is extremely enjoyable from what I've had time to play around with. There's a lot of variety in the style and type of weapons you can acquire, and I'm sure they all fit specific Warframes better than others. But with weapons and Warframes, there comes modding. Modding is pretty cool in this game. I'll try to explain it as best as I can for all the non-Warframe players. For all you OG Warframe players, I'm really sorry for potentially butchering this for you. So for example, let's say you have a base weapon you haven't leveled up at all. That weapon's going to have very limited mod capacity, so you're not going to be able to slot as higher level mods or even more mods in general. However, when you start to level the gun up, the more you level, the more mod capacity you gain access to. Basically, the more mod capacity, the more mods you can equip, or the higher level mods you can equip. Now, each mod also comes with a starting mod capacity cost. Now, this capacity cost will increase if you choose to level up the mod. Now, if you choose to level up a mod, it will go up by 1 every time you choose to level it up all the way up to max. But when you level these mods up, you're also going to be getting bonuses to whatever the mod is, whether that's to base damage for a weapon or electricity damage, or even extra armor stats for a Warframe. It doesn't matter. Your bonus will always increase when you level up. But obviously there's a catch. It comes at a cost of materials called endo, which you'll grab while you play. I believe that the rarer the mod is, the more it costs to upgrade it. And trust me, it costs a whole lot to max out a mod. So I genuinely only upgrade to around level 6 or 7 if you want to be cost effective. Another thing, I'll quickly go over an item called Former. Former is an item you can use on one of your mod slots to basically make it cheaper to put a mod in that socket, meaning you can slot more mods or more expensive mods as you have more capacity. Each of your mods have a little symbol in the top right, which just signifies what type of mod it is. These are the symbols you need to pay attention to when it comes to using your Former on your weapons or Warframes. So if you have a mod that costs 14 capacity to run it, if you use a Former on one of the mod sockets that matches the symbol of the mod with 14 capacity, that capacity requirement is going to be halved. There is a catch though, being your weapon or Warframe level, and it does reset, but it honestly doesn't take a long time to get back up to max again, so it's worth it. Now I think it's time to talk about Warframes. So every Warframe in the game has 4 unique abilities that are catered to that character. However, you're not just locked into these 4 abilities. As you progress through the game, and I think this is pretty far, you unlock something called the Helminth segment, I think it's pronounced, which you can use to extract an ability from one Warframe and put it onto another, at the cost of losing the Warframe you had just extracted the ability from. So obviously there is a price to pay, but when it comes to build crafting and what kind of character you want to make, it can be really beneficial for you. By the way, there are so many Warframes in this game, it's insane. Most Warframes in the game have a Prime version, which is just a glammed up version of their base alternative. All Primes act in different ways, and the simple explanation to it is one might have more health or armor stats, whereas another may have more energy stats. I love this because not only can I go after some of these sought after, hard to get frames, but once I own the base version, I can go chase the Prime version, which also you don't need to unlock the original before the Prime. You can just skip straight to the Prime, but the drops for the pieces can be pretty rare unless you just want to buy the parts from someone through trading. The core gameplay loop is pretty simple. You have the navigation system at the front end of your ship that shows you all the missions and planets you can access. To unlock more nodes, or more missions we'll call them, you have to complete the node connected to the one you want to unlock. You just follow this routine until all nodes are completed, which by all means is no quick and easy task. I will admit, the game is rough to begin with. It takes a little while for the story to really kick off, but honestly, once it does, you won't want to put the game down. Trust me. It's difficult to get into because there isn't a whole lot of hand holding. It's more like, oh, you've seen a plane take off before, haven't you? Here you go, and they throw you right in the cockpit. That's pretty much the way this goes. The way you want to go through it is just by following the quest guide. That's all I've been doing, and I've been having a great time. And if you're ever lost on where to go or what to do, there are so many videos online and Reddit posts with most, if not all, of your questions answered. So don't even stress. You might be wondering though, well, once I've completed all my quests and completed all the planetary nodes, what do I do now? Well, once all the nodes have been completed, you'll now have access to something called Steel Path, which is basically this game's hard mode. The next question may be, well, why would I want to play the same missions over again just on a harder difficulty? And my answer to that would be, you don't have to. I personally haven't gotten access to the Steel Path yet because I only have something like 40 odd hours into it. Like, it's not a lot, and it'll probably take me a while to get access to Steel Path, especially with my schedule. However, there are some pretty cool bonuses for doing Steel Path. For example, you'll get access to 100% resource drop boosters and 100% mod boosters during every mission. These bonuses also stack with any other bonuses or boosters that you currently have equipped through either purchasing them or getting them through login bonuses. I should probably also mention that every enemy has had 100 levels thrown on top of it. Yeah, so the choice is yours of whether you want to take part in that or not. It also gives you access to something called Steel Essence, which I don't know a whole lot about. I've just seen a couple of posts about it, and they drop from certain enemies. I think they're called like acolytes or something, and they can be spent on things called arcane lockers, which in simple terms are just weapon enhancements that have milestones attached to them, and once you have completed said milestone, it has a chance to proc the stated effect. You can also trade Steel Essence for rarer items such as Riven mods, Riven ciphers, and something called Umbral Former. That's just to name a few. Now, you also have something called a mastery rank, which is your overall account ranking. If anyone's ever played the First Descendant and not played Warframe, first off, shame on you, but it works the exact same as that. It can only be leveled by leveling the items you currently own, being primary weapons, secondary weapons, melees, leveling warframes or equipment you have. So that's the only way you're going to increase your mastery rank. A mastery rank goes up to like, I don't know, beyond 30, and it takes a whole lot of time to get up to that rank. So you'll have plenty to do if you do choose to play this game. At the end of the day though, this is basically a massive collector's game. There is so much to collect in this game, it's actually unfathomable. Unfathomable? Unfathomable? You know what I'm trying to say. I really like the idea of this system because I used to love keeping track of what I did and didn't have in Destiny, with like exotics, obviously, legendaries, some of the old weapons, just anything like that. It's really cool to track stuff like that and keep like a catalog. But with Warframe, it feels like there's an actual tracking catalog that I can work through, but I can also track what I have and haven't leveled up to max. So that's going to be really helpful for obviously mastery rank progress. I don't know. I think it's a really cool feature and something that's going to keep me playing for a very, very long time. For my thoughts on the game so far, I'm loving the game. I think it's great. I know the video is a whole lot of me explaining random things in the game to you, which a lot of you already probably know anyways, but I wanted to help the people who are also coming away from games like Destiny to try and find them an alternative. Overall, the Warframe community have been so good. Everyone in the comments of the last video who mentioned Warframe was so pleasant and so welcoming. There was just no way I couldn't give it another go. Anyways, if you want to see more Warframe content from me, like how I'm progressing through the game, or if you want to see anything else from me, leave it down below. I'd love to read your comments. I loved it on the last video. I'm gonna love it again if you guys keep that up. If not, doesn't matter. I still love making the content anyway. Anyways, thank you all for making it this far in the video. I really appreciate it, and yeah, laters.